And there was a fella who was found with like fucking 3,000 indecent images, not a decent one, 3,000 indecent images, right, on his hard drive. And he was like openly saying, yes, I fancy kids. I've never acted out of context, don't clip that.
Someone clip it. Out of context, I fancy kids.
Yeah. And he was saying, like, he said that of our kids, right? And then he was like...
That was heavy, that.
But
Welcome back, episode 43 of the What's Happening podcast, brought to you as always by Orange County CBD. Put them on the screen now. Here we go.
And on my screen.
They're already on the screen. That's how good we are.
I've got a friend.
Use code Happenin10 at checkout. You get 10% off all your orders on Orange County CBD. They've got a great range of vape liquids that are CBD infused. They've got CBD oil, CBD jellies. They've even now got little elf bar style vapes like this that have got CBD in them. So if you're into your CBD and you like your vapes, you fucking found your website. Code Happenin10, 10% off. Link in the description.
And as always, we are sponsored by T-Trades. If you want to get involved in crypto, sign up to t-trades.com and she can help you get out of debt and also get you involved in a crypto game. So sign up.
Yeah, she got these books out. Basically the books.
You sounded so Canadian in these books out.
Yeah, no, you got these books. She got the books out. It's like financial guide books and that, and it's like debt management. It's like how to manage your money, how to invest correctly. So if you're looking for just information before you put your money into anything, the financial guide as well.
I definitely need that. 100%.
They are really good. Who else sponsors us, Gary?
Who else sponsors us? We are sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped. WHP20 checkout, 20% off all products, right? Whether that's the lawnmower 4.0, get round all them little crevices in your fucking undercrackers and all that.
Yep.
Zzz, with a little torch and everything on the front. There's a light on the front.
The torch is very handy.
You can shave in the dark with fucking cost of living crisis and the cost of electricity going up. I don't need lights.
I haven't had my lights on for 4 weeks, me.
I can fully charge it in me Mars. Shave in the dark. Sound.
Marvellous.
They've got loads of smelly products as well. They've got the fucking Crop Reviver, the Crop Preserver, all these lovely smelly deodorants. They've got shampoos and everything. And now they're moving. In a couple of weeks, they're moving into the beard trimmer range.
Okay.
Yes, they are sending us a kit out each for beard trimmer and all that, right?
And, I don't need that.
Yeah. And he doesn't need
just be
it.
collecting dust, that man. You know what I mean?
He just uses chemo on his chin. And
have a radio chin, lads.
So they said they're going to send us a couple of reads out where we've got to read about this new product on fucking screen and all that. So yeah, we'll be reading that out in the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be fun. We'll make a little skip video again for it, for the beard. So
yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be good.
I'll just get my mar on and shave my Mars muzzy on the camera.
Right, so boys, the New Year's come and gone. Christmas has come and gone.
Yep.
It's January. It's everyone's least favourite time of year.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all skint.
Everyone's skint. It's not, the weather's not great, but the New Year's not been off to a bad start. There's been some really fucking cool things happening. There's been some mad things happening, actually.
There's been some deaths already,
There's been some deaths. Do you know, is it Jeremy Renner who's in the Marvel franchise? Yeah. Hasn't he lost his leg or something?
No, he's lost his leg.
No,
he got run over by like a
snowplow.
Oh, a snowplow.
I don't know if he's lost his leg. I seen he was all beaten up and all that.
Yeah, he was fucked up. Like.
He was helping the neighbour fucking clear his driveway and that, and then his plough just went and that. Then I'm over.
He done like a post though, isn't he? So we saw him now.
Yeah. He was like, I'm too
obviously legless.
He's like, I'm too messed up to type. It's like, lad, I'm reading what you type.
I literally thought that when it went.
You're not too messed up.
I everyone, I'm doing all right. I'm too messed up to write. And I thought, well, who's wrote these fucking 10 words then?
You're in the Avengers. Stop attention seeking, lad. You've got all the attention in the world.
That's just like that post that bears do when they go, I'm just going off social media for a bit. Text me if you need me. And that's like, listen, you're not though, are you?
Say birds. I know a few lads who've done it.
Do you know my least favourite thing on social media is like it's these posts where like a bird will post a picture of her. She's got like a little pair of knickers on and she's like always sitting like this and she's like, might delete this later. It's like, no you won't. You're not deleting that later.
Delete it now because it stinks.
What's their
I can
Insta?
smell it through the screen.
No man, it's all like you just
what's their Insta?
You piss me off. Like, what's being burning my head out is obviously with us doing this now. I've met people who I wouldn't have met otherwise, like influencers or like people who don't do anything other than just be a personality on social media.
I was
and
going to
like,
say other than being a pain in the ass.
Well, no, they are a pain in the ass on social media. Like that's all they are, and like they don't do anything, they don't offer anything. They're just there. They're just there. And like, I mean, and the more I'm saying this, I'm realising that's what we're doing right now. But right, at least we at least provide laughter. All these people do is they go on social media and they just attention seek, lad. Like, all these birds who are influencers going to Dubai, and they're like, oh, I've got a job working for the Emirates. Like, we don't know you're getting shit on. Like it's just...
That's how the birds going to Dubai, though, lad. They are getting shit on. No birds affording to go to Dubai and get fucking grand meals on a makeup fucking MUA account.
That's exactly...
You know what I mean? Doesn't work, lad.
There's birds who I know, right? And I know where they went to college because I was in school with them. They did not study to be an air hostess, yet all of a sudden they've landed a job for Emirates. And then they're constantly in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, lad, living it up.
Some sheikh just using your chin as toilet roll.
Lad, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it pisses me off, like, because if I had a pair of tits and a little nice fanny that could fit into a bikini that wide, I'd post pictures of it on Instagram, and I'd probably go and let some fella shit on me for 50 grand if I'm being dead honest.
Yeah,
but I can't, so I hate them for doing it.
If a bird said to me, come to Dubai, let me shit on your chest for 50 grand, I'm doing it, lad.
I'd be like, oh,
know what I mean?
Do it in my mouth.
Yeah,
I'd do it. 100%.
You even have to go to Dubai, just get to ours.
Yeah, just get to fucking Stonycroft.
Where do you live? Stoke? I'll do it there. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, let the wind blow it in my face.
Like, it's just mad. Like, social media is weird though.
It is a mad.
Like, I've been thinking about it recently. I did mushrooms on my birthday, so all I've been having very I've been having very existential thoughts for no reason. And like, social media is mad, like, because it desensitizes you without you realizing you're getting desensitized.
100%,
because like, you go on like TikTok and you'll see something that it's like. And it'd be like, oh, look, here's a fella there trying to bounce a ping pong ball off 3 pan lids into a dustbin. And then you scroll down one, and it's like 7 children found dead in a basement in Ohio. And you're like, shit. And you scroll down again, and it's like, oh, look at the puppy. Like you don't have time to compute the information.
Your brain hasn't got the capacity to fucking process all that information at once. So
it's
making people's attention spans a lot shorter. Like, I'm sure they've done like a fucking test now where it's like people's attention spans are only 7 seconds now.
Yeah,
Cause
it's
crazy,
crazy, lad. It's crazy.
Have you seen that little fucking nonce on TikTok, that Paul, or his name is, who does all the dancing?
That poor breach, lad. Have you answered him?
Have you seen him? Lad, he's about 40. Apparently he nails all like teenagers. There was a video the other day, he was like in this alleyway with like a 16-year-old girl or something. Like, he's...
Do you want to know the story behind that?
Is he like the same as Nathan Martin? Sorry, just to...
No, right, so this fella,
he just dances, he just goes...
Like, he runs that song and it's like, green grass, blue sky. He does all mad little dances down, he like lifts the top up and he's like...
Dead quick, before you tell me the story about that, why you brought him up, when you said about like fucking bad information on in between videos. He was doing this video and he was like dancing like that, and he goes, oh my god, there's a plane gone down in Tanzania. There's been a plane crash in Tanzania, 17 dead. That's and you're just like, right, so I don't know the whole backstory of this poor breach, right? I don't know too much about him other than the fact that he's definitely touched the child. Allegedly.
Like, so apparently, now again, I don't know if this is true, but apparently, he was like 24, 25, and he's got a son. And apparently,
imagine your fella doing that.
All right, so he's not with his son's mother anymore, and then apparently she made him sign a legal document to say that he won't speak about her or him on his TikToks and that, because he's a fucking creep, lad.
He's a creep, lad.
Apparently, he got the kid's mom pregnant when she was like 16 and he was like 24. That might not be true. That's just what people say. But the other day, I went down a Paul Breach wormhole.
Did you?
Right, I was on TikTok for about 2 hours just looking at videos of this fella. The youth of the UK has become not obsessed with him. Someone's made a Paul Breach tracker, right? And every time, because like he's dead weird. Like he doesn't do anything. He just roams around random towns in the UK. You get to train somewhere and just walk around there for the day, always with the same outfit on, like this little weird salmon pink jumper with combats and Converse. He's a horrible man, and. Like, so someone's made the because people that take videos of him, they'd be like, Paul Breach spotted in Northwich or something like that, and then there's major videos until someone's made a website of a map of the UK and started ticking off all the towns he's been spotted in, right? And then the other day, there was a mad one, there's this babe who was like 19, but she looked about 14, 15, because there was like pictures of her on TikTok and that, like, because people who were onto it, she was with him, and all of a sudden, he's now a keen photographer, Paul Breach, apparently. Right.
Photographer of what, though, lad?
Children.
Yeah.
Underage girls.
On the dark web.
Yeah, just he's a photographer of teenage thighs as well. He's horrible. And basically, so apparently this bird wanted a photo shoot doing. So Paul Breach has went, I'll do it. right? Because of how
Say less.
he's like, I've already got about 12. I'll be able to send you them.
Just want to see
So-
my portfolio.
He's turned up to take photos of it without a camera and just his phone, right?
What phones you got though, lad?
Lad, I
If he's
don't
turned
know.
up with the iPhone 5,
It's our Encro, lad. He's trying to
Motorola
stay-
Razor.
He's trying to stay off the grid, him, lad. He's got one of them encrypted phones. He's trying to stay low, lad. and
Like 9 pixels on the photo
literally,
and that.
Yeah, fucking 3 megapixel camera and that,
I'll have to
lad.
send you through infrared.
Put your phone next to mine there, lad. So basically, he's met up with her wherever he was, and he's been taking pictures of it. Right?
How old's this bird? 19?
She's 19. She's 19. I think he's like 42.
That's sussy, lad.
What's
What's the age difference there? 20, 23 years?
But there's enough.
There's enough,
There's more
to
than
say
enough.
suspect.
I don't know the maths, but there's more than enough. I'm going to find this Insta. And basically, he was taking pictures of it, and then they went to a hotel. Apparently nothing happened. Which
Bullshit, lad.
I don't believe for a
Bullshit,
second. 1 second, let me try and
If
find
something did
Paul
happen, lad,
Beach,
they're
man.
not going to say it. So we've got to try and read between the lines. He's taking her to an hotel room.
Yeah.
She's 19. He's
Hey,
42.
stay quick then while you're finding that, right? Talking about
Yeah, let me just see that quick.
talking about fucking while
I'm
I showing
seeing
him,
him, lad.
talking about like photographers, right? I used to work with a kid who had a thing for
Oh, lad,
feet,
he's horrible, him, lad.
and I had a foot fetish.
Ah, suck it out, though.
Like no, but like
I have sucked the toe.
next
not gonna lie.
next level foot fetish, right? And he went to Magaluf for all his mates and all that, and he come back and I was like, hey. Got any holiday photos and that, lad? He went, yeah, lad, loads. Yeah, have a look. I went on his phone, lad, and he had a folder with like 72 pictures of just birds' feet in flip-flops on the beach and that, lad. He was just walking around Maga just like that, taking pictures of birds' feet, lad.
I don't see what people see in birds' feet, lad. Like lad, the feet's probably the most disgusting part
Do you know
of
what?
a human.
I
You know what I mean?
Listen, my bird's got half decent feet, right? But my daughter, my stepdaughter's got a half fella's toes. They're minging. If when she grows up to get a fella or a bird, right, they won't have a foot fetish with my daughter because she's got the worst fucking toes ever.
I think, like, I wouldn't say I've got a foot fetish, but like I've been known to suck a toe, right?
I think I've sucked the toe twice in my life, lad. Like,
If my
I don't
bird-
want to do it. The bird asked.
If
I
my-
want to
I'm
suck my
into it,
toe.
lad. You know,
I don't mind. I don't mind my bird's feet. Like,
It's alright.
I always try and jump on it. She's like, fucking get off your dickhead. I'm like, oh, like,
Man, have you got like
she'll be having a shit
athlete's
or
foot?
something. I'll just like sneak in. Or that. But like, if my bird put my toes anywhere near the grid, lad, she needed tetanus. Like, my feet stink, lad. Like, I get a shower and by the time I'm downstairs, they just smell like pure cheese, the file. I've got the smelliest feet. They just sweat for no reason. It's mad, lad.
The birds enjoy it because our birds have asked me to suck the toe. Like the birds get an enjoyment out of it.
I've never had my toes sucked, but apparently I wear socks 24/7, lad. I don't like not wearing socks.
Do you like shagging socks?
Yeah.
That's suspect, you know. Just socks completely naked.
That was do you like shagging socks? I thought you were just saying this shagging socks.
No,
You
like,
mentioned
I
that.
keep my socks on when I go to bed and everything, lad. Like, I just prefer to wear socks, lad. It just is what it is, lad.
Yeah.
And
I'm just
like,
imagining Danny plating a bed in just socks, completely naked, just a pair of
just
fluffy
the
socks.
thermals, lad.
On
Got my
laminate.
bed socks on.
Fuzzy socks and that in the eye.
He's got long johns with a Hulk. Long johns with
Got
a
my
Hulk
shimmies
out.
on under them and everything, lad.
Imagine, hey, that's a challenge one day, lad. You've got to shag your bed in a full footy kit with shinnies and everything. Just get your dick out.
Sad.
I'd shag a bed and footy kids.
I remember the bear.
100%.
Lad, the bear.
You get the baby one though.
Yeah, with my name on the back and that.
Lad, the bear.
100%.
Nearly knocked me tooth out with a foot once, lad. Like,
Oh,
we were getting down to it,
Down to it.
and she's went
Getting
to put.
jiggy with it.
She's went to put her toes in my mouth, which, lad, go for it.
But like
Without consent.
Heel
But-
kicked you like that.
But let me know. Let me know in
Yeah,
advance,
yeah.
because she
Snap the salt with the wire.
she'd had like a little pedicure, so she had like a hard layer of paint over the toenails, and she just went fuck off with her foot, and it just hit me in the teeth, lad. My lip started to bleed a little bit, and I was like, I can taste blood, and she was like, sorry about that, and then I looked, and there was a cut there, there was blood in me grid, because she just fucking toe knuckled me in the mouth, lad.
Should have said, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I sucked his elbow, you know.
Lad, talking about elbows, seen that video going around of Jake Paul sparring on stage with that kid and he's just spinning elbows him on stage?
No, I've
And
not seen it.
It's not Jake Paul.
Isn't it?
Nah, I thought it was, and then
I just seen someone say Jake Paul getting fucking, but he had a
No,
bit
I've
of flappy
seen it.
hair and I thought that doesn't like Jake Paul.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it
Oh,
was
I've
Jake
seen
Paul,
it.
and then I had a look at the video, and it looks like it.
Is that someone just trying to bait clickbait it.
Yeah,
Bait the
there's this
clickbait
like
it.
mad fight promotion in Russia.
He got all though, didn't he? See how dance
Yeah,
going.
like there's this mad fight promotion in Russia, and it's an MMA promotion, but for some reason every time they have a
There's
press
always
conference.
See the one where the kid drop kicks him on the couch?
Yeah, well, some kid gets drop kicked.
Oh, I've seen that one, yeah, when he runs from the other couch. I've seen
madness.
that. That's a
Have you
sick one.
seen, right, speaking of Jake Paul, I seen a video he put on Twitter today. You just know what the PFL is? It's like this thing called the Professional Fighters League. It's like another version of the UFC.
Okay.
But it runs like any other sport. So whereas the UFC, it's not like a league, it's like a championship. So this PFL, it runs like a league. So they have like seasons, and then at the end there's like a playoffs and then a final for each weight class. And then if you win, you get $1 million. You get paid for all your other fights as well. But the grand prize at the end of each season is $1 million.
$1 million.
And Jake Paul is officially being signed to the PFL. As a fighter. It's MMA as well. As a fighter, because they're starting this new thing called the Super Fight League, and he's going to be
famous
in charge
people in
that. Well, I don't know whether there's going to be famous people or big, like I don't know.
Probably be like influencers or something.
Because he's been campaigning saying that like fighters don't get paid enough, and in some cases they don't. In the UFC, they certainly don't.
Yeah, like the golfing wage between boxing and like fucking UFC is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it depends though, because like you got to look at like Paddy Pimblett. So he's only earned like what 20 grand a fight off the UFC, but he's been able to get a barstool fucking contract for $5 million. You know what I mean? Off the platform the UFC's gave him.
That's what I mean.
What's going to happen with UFC now after fucking Dana White slapping his bed up?
What? Have you heard about
There was
that?
a video on New Year's.
He's in Mexico on New Year's Eve, right? Arguing with his bed, his wife, and his wife slaps him, and he slaps her back, lad. And like security driving away and all that.
She gave him one of them, and then he goes fuck off, and starts laying digs on, lad.
That's
like, I don't know. Like the thing is, he won't.
Someone said, get his bed to fail a fucking doping test and it'll be sound. He'll get away with it.
That's what I mean. Like the thing, like they're not going to sack Dana White because without Dana White, the UFC's nothing.
He's the face of it. Yeah.
There's got to be repercussions for that though, lad, because like they've let fighters go, and rightly so. They've got rid of fighters off the roster before because they've been charged with domestic violence. Yeah. So like even though his wife isn't pressing charges, there's a video of him slapping the shit out of her. He doesn't own it anymore though.
He's just an employee.
He's the president of it now.
Yeah, he's the president of it. So he can't get legged.
I don't think they will though.
No.
I don't think they won't. But it's just a mad one, lad. Like, there's got to be a repercussion there. Like, if there was a video of me out slapping the shit out of a bird, lad, I'd probably get some repercussion. But
I just resign, mate.
But this is the thing, right?
You know what I mean? I wouldn't wait to get fired.
What happens, because obviously his bird, his wife, she's not pressing charges, but if there's video evidence of something, the other person doesn't have to press charges. Like, if there's CCTV of you battering someone in town and that kid goes, nah, that sound like caused it, and there's CCTV and you're clearing it, the police can press charges because there's video evidence.
Yeah.
So they don't need the other party to press charges. So,
I reckon he's too rich where he would, do you know what I mean?
It happened in when Suarez bit fucking
Chiellini.
No, Ivanovic or whatever.
Ivanovic, yeah.
Because it was on national telly. People were pressing charges at home watching telly.
Oh, don't lie.
I don't know what. I reckon they're one of the worst kind of people in the world. Them, like, I reckon they're up there with like Nazi officers and like, you know, people who write into like Ofcom and shit like that, and it's
with
like
complaints and that, emailing.
It's like, shut your fucking mouth.
Like,
I've watched some daft shit, some horrible shit on telly, and I've never sat there and went, well, that's bothered me enough that I'm going to write a formal complaint about that. Shut up.
Have you ever had when you just done like a stand-up performance, someone saying, I'm going to email in fuming?
I've had an email.
Have you had an email? Oh yeah, I remember you saying. When was that?
Do you want to read it out?
Email? Yeah.
Read the email out, right?
Yeah, let the fans know. Let the fans know. Where was it? Not in Water?
No, it was no. Fuck off! Smash up Water every time. It was down south ways. It was Chesterfield. I think that it was a place called Clown. Like
Clown, yeah.
Where are you from, lad? Clown.
So they messaged the owner of the bar. Hi Heather. On the majority, tonight was great. The first act, though, me, was horrendous. As a survivor of child abuse, having an autistic son, not to mention being a lesbian, his jokes were not jokes, they were inappropriate and vulgar. He clearly couldn't read the room because not one person laughed. Referring to his 5-year-old son as a prick at least 6 times in his first 4 minutes was disgusting. Then to bring the other stuff up made me feel sick. I wanted to walk out, but it would have been rude. He is so lucky that the guy in the brown trench coat, orange jumpsuit, disabled guy and half the lady acts were there to rescue the night, so every other act saved the night. Not sure I want to come anymore to your night, and I'm so glad I didn't blind book him for the cricket club. Such a letdown that one truly awful act can ruin such a great night. The pub is great, but you may want to look at other options for a comedy night, as that let you down. Kiss.
See, when you go to a comedy night, you can't expect to like everyone.
Listen,
you've got to
listen, that first sentence, as a survivor of child abuse with an autistic son, not to mention being a lesbian, right? That is just, I'm the victim.
Exactly, lad. Exactly.
That's attention seeking, isn't it?
What I get out of that
100%.
is she was abused by her half fella, right?
And milked it.
Which was why she was abused. Like, that's the child abuse. Had an autistic son because it was inbred. And now she's a lesbian because her half fella put her off. That's what I got from it. Right? No, but listen, right? I'm only joking about that. But if you go to that night and the material that I used, right? The autistic bits wasn't punching down on autism at all. Archie's got autism,
Yeah,
right?
so you've got
And
the,
all I said was
was
with his autism, he's very literal. Like, I walked out of the shower the other week and he went, "Hey, Dad, you need to lend a pair of mummy's bra because you got massive boobs." That's all I said about autism, right? That's not me punching down on autism. So she heard the word autism was triggered. The lesbian bit, it was me joke about working with a large lesbian and everyone called her Vindaloo. And they were like, why you call me Vindaloo? Because I like curry. And she goes, no. Someone goes, no. Who sang the song Vindaloo? Fat Les. Like, again,
that's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. Like, you've got to think about it a bit. You know what I mean?
And then the child abuse is because I call my son a prick, which Lennon is a little prick.
But you're abusing him.
Exactly.
I mean, you are, but not because he's a prick.
Yeah.
It's because he's
autistic. It's your son, lad. You can call him what you want. Like, don't fucking elbow the kid on stage.
But it weren't even the autistic one I was calling a prick. It was the other one. Like, she just heard trigger words and was like, I've come here and now I'm offended and I'm going to be the victim. And she made it all about it.
That's like a proper leftist type of comment to saying it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the blame's all on. Yeah, fuck all that, lad.
People like that, it's just, like, I very rarely ever get stressed out, lad, but everything's been stressing me out lately, and people in particular, like, lad, I mean, we do a podcast, we can be very opinionated on it, that's fair enough, but we're doing it intentionally. We've give ourselves a base and a platform to do it, so that's what we do. People watch it for that, but like
freedom of speech.
But like 100%. It's like people go to, like as you said, like comedy clubs, or they go and like it's like, I personally didn't like this, therefore it shouldn't happen anymore. It's like, no. Like if I go to a restaurant, right? If I go out for an Italian and I get the lasagna and it comes to my table and the lasagna's being prepared as it always is, but I don't like that lasagna, I then can't go in the restaurant the next day and go, I don't want you to ever make anyone that lasagna again because I thought it was a shit lasagna.
It's all up to personal opinion, lads, always.
Like, listen, and then everyone's entitled to an opinion, that's fine, and comedy is subjective, and if you don't like it, you don't like it, that's fine, it's sound.
It's the same with music.
But like music, right? The way people try and get comedians cancelled for saying something, you don't get musicians cancelled because they don't like lyrics.
Like, realistically, did you see that pictures of Sam Smith in that bikini? If anyone needs cancelling, it's fucking Sam Smith, lad. He looked like someone had packed a small pig into a thong, lad. It was disgusting. Like, and that's not, and look, whether that's body shaming or not, I don't know. But all I'm saying is he could have at least got one that was the right size.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures?
I've not seen the pictures.
I'm going to show you
the
pictures.
There's the one where he's in his denim shorts and the yellow jumper, and he said he looks like the kid off Benidorm. You know, the hairdresser off Benidorm. Swear, lad.
That's a good one.
And listen,
he's top of the charts now, don't he?
I love
certain people get pushed, I reckon.
No, I've got a thing for Sam Smith. Like,
some of his songs are heavy.
In terms of, but this is the thing, right? I'm weird with music. I much prefer like stripped back acoustic versions.
That's rough, lad. If he's gonna wear a bikini, lad, at least wear a bra. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Put your tits away, Sam.
Put your Nellies away, lad. And get some Sudocreme on your fucking flabs. No, but like when he done the Brit Awards and done his like acoustic version, lad, I fucking cried that song. Like he has got it. But I prefer acoustic versions. But yeah,
so do I.
Did you cry over Sam Smith?
Yeah. I've cried over a few tunes, me, lad.
Yeah, but like Sam Smith tune though.
4 a.m. when I've come back from like a night out, lad, I'm all depressed. The next bed didn't come on with me. I was like, that bang a tune on.
They got fucked up.
Yeah. Do you know what I do? Like when I go to cry, though, I do a fake laugh first to try and disguise it. So I go. So it's like I was watching, and my bear's mad into reading at the minute. She's got like a big fucking collection of books. She's just been reading loads. So I've had freedom of the television. So I went on my Netflix and I just find mad shows. Like I've been watching one called Big Timber about like a logging company out in Canada. It's sick. And I was crying at that the other day. It's just fellas cutting wood up.
That's your nickname, that is.
What is it, like a Big
Timber? Big Timber. Oh, it is, yeah. That's my new stage name.
Yeah,
Big Timber.
Big Timber.
So, yeah, it's just mad, lad. Like, I don't know, like.
And I'm going to come on stage with that fucking, what is it, Kesha, is it? I'm coming down, yelling timber.
Just fucking Big Ginger Tims. But yeah, I don't know, lad. It's like obviously I'm all for body positivity.
Yeah.
But only if your body is positive. Know what I mean? No, do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, lad. I know what you're saying.
It might not be a very popular opinion.
And you should walk around with this as your motto in life. Do not eat for display only.
Exactly. But like, what I'm saying is like I'm all for like, if you're happy being obese and that makes you happy, sound. But one thing I don't like is like fat models. Right, Andrew Schultz has spoken about this.
Foddles.
Andrew Schultz has spoken about this, and it's like the way he put it is like, you look at like say comedians. There's an exchange there, so we want attention off you. So in return, these are his words. He said, in return, we make you laugh, we get the attention. That's an exchange.
Yeah.
He said normal models, they at least keep themselves in shape so that we get something nice to look at, they get attention. That's the exchange. Yeah. And then he said, but like fat models, they just want attention, but they're giving nothing. Like they're not willing to work and to achieve a certain image. To do, you know what I mean?
See, like you could go half deep on that, because then you could say, are the government trying to push that just to get people to keep consuming fast food? You know what I mean?
Like,
to try and make more money.
There's a,
do you know what I mean? You don't know, lad.
I've never even thought of it like that.
There's a go deep, lad. You can go deep on it.
There's a conspiracy for everything, lad. But like the way I think about it, like. I don't know how to word it without sounding like I just hate fat.
Say it, and then if it doesn't work, we can take it out. Or bleep it. If it doesn't work, we'll just bleep it. We just bleep it.
I'm editing this episode. I won't take it out.
Nah, it's just it's like I
want to get cancelled now.
I think like it's gonna happen at some point to me. Like I've just got to might as well take it on the chin now, and then work your way back.
Yeah, work your way back up the rankings.
Like Dana White's bed.
It's just like to do anything. Like even like for example a podcast, we at least, even if we've got no topic of conversation set in stone, we come in, we have a laugh, we try and be high energy just so that when people watch it, it's entertaining, because we need the views. So we try and give an entertaining perspective.
Like I'm all
for fair exchange.
I'm all for like inclusivity, you know, that like where everyone should have a chance and everyone should get involved. But as you said, these supermodels for years have worked hard, made it their life goal to fucking become a model.
Like they intentionally made themselves bulimic and addicted to cocaine to achieve that. Like, put the hours in.
They through grafting, and then you do get, and I'd say more for like plus size model and all that, but then as you say, it's the expectation. Oh, I need this now, I deserve this now. You've not put any graft in.
Exactly. Like it's
I remember this bird. Sorry to interrupt.
I
remember this bird in sixth form, and she wants to be a model now. And I remember every lunch, she used to sit in this room.
You got a face and like just a fucking bulldog chewing a wasp.
Nah, lad, she used to eat just sliced cucumber and drink a pint of water. That was her lunch, lad, for 2 years, lad. I remember looking at that thinking,
she a model
now? I think she's in America, lad, being a model.
She put the fucking work.
Put the craft in it, work.
How old was she in school? Was that sixth form?
So that was like what, 16 to 18, yeah.
Imagine having that mindset. Like it's scary.
I think it's because people are now like people get shown it at a young age because of social media. So from the age of like fucking 12, lad, you can see supermodels. Back in the day, you wouldn't.
When my daughter's going through it now, my daughter's nearly 13, right? And she comes down with all these trends she's seen on TikTok saying, I want to do this. All the girls in school are doing it. All the girls on TikTok are doing it. I'm like, stop being a sheep. Like I know you're learning, but like. She come down the other day and she needs to get a haircut. She was like, when are you going to take me to the hairdresser? She went, I want to get these curtain bangs in my ear. I mean, first of all, we don't call them curtain bangs. You're not a fucking dickhead. Back then,
I want a fringe.
Yeah, I said, you'll get banged right to the chin.
I've technically got a bang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
And I was like, but she's like, she wants these two things that she can kill. And I was like, nah. No. Like, you know, when you're like 16, right, and you can do what the fuck you want. But while
just be a kid.
While you're in my control, you're not looking like a dickhead. She went, but all the girls, I went, stop following. Stop. Like, I know it's
harder when you're a kid, because like when you're in school, it's
you get bullied like, for shit as well.
That's what I mean. Like,
if you're not doing what everyone else is doing,
like when you're in school, like back in the day, I remember my half fella bought me a Slazenger backpack once, and I never heard the end of that for about 6 months.
That's
and
everyone.
It's daft shit, like, but it's like
I gelled my hair in school. Like I was a skinhead for years, and I just wanted to grow my hair one day, and I grew my hair. And like just had a little quiff in that, lad, and I was just like, you fucking emo, you fucking goth and all that. I was like, why?
It's just mad. Like I can understand it more. Like when you're a kid and you're in school, and like you're sitting there and everyone's doing it because like a kid who's popular will do it. So then you want to then do it and this and that back and forth. But like as you get older, lad, it's like lad, you're seeing people now, we were in the 30s, in the 40s, doing TikTok, and it's like, lad, sort your fucking head out.
I can't say nothing, I'm 32 in fucking 2 months and I'm on here and fucking
we just chat shit, lad.
But it's like Paul preaching it, like, we're having a conversation and I'm a comedian.
He's sitting there, like, he doesn't be like, he'll have like the waistline of his boxies coming out of his kecks, and like he'll lift his top up, but it's like, lads, you need, like genuinely, right, I honestly, like people like him, whether or not he is a paedophile, he's definitely going to be at some point. Why can't, like, people like that need euthanizing, lad.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, he's a dangerous man.
You do have to be careful on social media with obviously people who are a certain age who are obviously lonely. Like, they'll just try and get any kid on social media by trying to fucking DM them or whatever, so you do have to be careful on there, like.
It's just mad, like to be fair, we get it, where like a lot of our audience are like 15 to 18. A lot of people who watch this are like 15 to 18, and we appreciate it, but like there's certain things which like we need to sort of not be careful what we say, but we need to make sure we say things the right way sometimes. Obviously not the fat models, but
don't influence them in a certain way, like,
that was put hideously. So if there is any fat people,
read between the lines on what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just be nice to fat people is what I'm saying. But fat people also
the lines
be nice
in your
to us.
fucking belly rolls.
But like also fat people, like, be nice to us and like save us a seat. Is all we're asking.
I can't say nothing, I'm swollen.
Like, we've got to be somewhat not careful of what we say, but how we say it. Because when you get,
it's all about context, isn't it?
Yeah, but like there's people now who like they're on social media, and it's like with this podcast, lad, we don't come on and speak about anything specific. I see shit on social media in the world, and I come here and we chat shit about it.
Yeah, we don't plan anything on here.
It's
just a mad thing,
just a kitchen conversation.
We just talk about things that we see and what's going on at the minute, and like what I'm finding now is it's like you've got people, like I'll use Paul Breach again as a perfect example. I personally think I don't know whether he's a paedophile, but
allegedly.
But
like,
I'm not saying he is a paedophile, but he's a very weird man, and he's managed to tap into.
You wouldn't let him babysit your kids.
No, I wouldn't even leave him. I wouldn't even leave him on FaceTime with my kid, lad. Like, not a chance. Like, and like he's got an audience now, and the majority of them are between like 12 and 16.
What do you think's the right age for the kids to get social media?
I
like Instagram and that?
See, I have this argument all the time with my daughter, and I feel like I'm being a bit of a Scrooge in that, because like a lot of my daughter's mates have Instagram and all that now, and I won't let her. And then, like, for years I've thrown the legal age in her face, so I'd be like, Instagram, you've got to be 13. Like, by law, you're meant to be 13 to have it. So she turned around the other day and she was like, but I'm 13 in like 2 months. I'm getting Instagram. And I was like, you're not though. Like, I went. I know on the tin it says 13. I said, but you've got to be the right maturity level and stuff. And I said, right now, I don't think you're there. But she's quite gullible and like she believes everything.
But then you've got to be careful that her mates haven't got it, and then she's the one left out.
But all her mates have got it, and she is left out. So I've got to tread that path carefully and stuff. And
I think if we're speaking about it like realistically, like I don't think.
But I know what shit I see on there, and I don't want to
see. And the thing is, as well,
like I banned her from watching our podcast or like our TikTok clips and anything forever. I was like, but her mates all watch it. And like on, you know, the clip where I was arguing about Peppa Pig, one of Lila's mates tagged Lila in it, going, "Oh, your dad," because I mentioned Lila. And I turned around to the other day and I went, "Listen, it's inevitable. You're nearly 13. You're gonna watch all the videos with your mate. It's sound, but listen, the shit that we say on there." And she's getting older and she's getting more mature and she understands, but I also don't want to relinquish that sort of baby control with her because she's my little girl. So it's hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I think the thing is with social media, that was well, it's like when you're saying like what's the right age for a kid to get social media, I don't think there is a like. I
think personally, you're not ready for social media until you're at least like 16.
Like, I'm still not ready now.
You know what I mean? Yeah, do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone's ready for it, lads. It's a mad world.
The thing is with it is like it's not even like you're gonna hear someone say a bad word, but like Paul Breach as an example. Whether or not there was anything sexual going on between him and that 19-year-old girl, a 42-year-old man should not be meeting up with a 19-year-old girl to take, unless he's a professional photographer. Like if she's a model and he's a professional,
if it's a business transaction,
if he's just if she's just some random bird who wants pictures of her taken, and he's just some random fella who's got a phone with a camera on. She's 19, clearly very impressionable. He's 42, clearly a predator at some description.
Operation U3 all over.
They should not be having any interaction. They should, lad, proper breachgate, lad. Like they should not be having any sort of.
You just breached your daughter.
Honestly, they shouldn't be having any
the opportunity for that, though, don't it?
Yeah, like they shouldn't be having any sort of like physical in-person interaction. But as a kid, you go on social media and you're exposed to these type of people, and there will be people out there who are going to be willing to take advantage of people who are impressionable. We're quite fortunate with what we do. Like, we interact with people who watch the podcast and who like the podcast, and we interact with them. Like, if we see them out and about and they come and say hello or they messages and that, I'll always be responsive and that. Like, I'll always at least take the time of day to respond. But like, I'm not getting to the point where there's a baby who watches it who's fucking, I don't know, however old, and she's like, oh yeah, I'd love some pictures taken of me, and then Gary runs down with his phone and starts taking because it'd be weird. And it's like, it's people like that, and it's like they get away with it a lot of the time as well, because a lot of the time they can always just pull it, oh, it's only TikTok, it's only Instagram. Like, they can always pull that thing, but like, it's always only Instagram until it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Social media is like a separate world. I reckon that is like living in real life, but on social media. So I don't think you can say, oh, it's just TikTok, it's just Instagram, because it's the same.
But it's the thing is, it's easier on social
media.
Much
easier, lad.
Like, it's so much easier to send a picture of your dick to some fucking kid, right? And to go to a school yard and get your dick out on the yard. You know what I mean? It's so much easier to do it. So that's why people. Wow.
It's more easily accessible for people who are predators and stuff.
That's what I mean. I mean, don't get me wrong. Social media's helped us out a lot. Social media's been very beneficial to me.
It's a powerful tool.
Like,
it's just
if you use it correctly, like if you're trying to build a brand, or you're trying to you're trying to become something, and like a comedian, for example, like TikTok and Instagram and things like that are the perfect place. Even Twitter's the perfect place you can take short clips of your material, you can post it. If people like it, they come and see your shows. That's an exchange. That works perfectly. But in any walk of life, lad, like there's always gonna be them sort of predatory people, and
100%.
Like, these days, realistically, like, you can't stop kids going on social media, because as soon as they've got a phone, all they've got to do is download an app.
But that's the thing, like, we've all been kids, and like, when your parents try and prevent you from doing something, prevent you from having something, you want to do it more. You're like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go fucking do it. So when you prevent your kids, they go, as I said, they go to school, she's got a phone, like, she needs it. It's just at the end of the fucking fingertips. They're going to do it, they're going to look at it. So, and this is the thing, like, I know it's a little bit different, because, like, I'm 32 in March. When I was younger, my ma, like, I used to go around drinking on the streets and all that when I was like 15, 16. And I got to a point where a couple of the lads and a couple of the girls we used to hang around with got into some sketchy situations by being bladdered and falling, breaking arms and all that. So my ma got to a point, I think I just turned 16, and my ma was like, listen, it's inevitable that you and your mates are going to go out drinking, and there was loads of like fucking rough gangs and all that going around. She was like, something bad's going to happen to you. She was like, on a Friday night, I'll go next door to Kerry's. You can have 15 to 20 people in the house, have a little house party, have a little bevy. I know you're in the house, I know you're safe. Yeah. And like, that was my mum making a decision, going, do you know what? It's going to happen. Instead of me trying to stop it, and making more, put themselves in more sketchy situations, I'll allow it where it's in my control. It's in four walls. I can watch them. I can come in and go, that's enough now. And obviously, people can leave and still drink and all that, but everyone by ours loved it, because they were like, oh my God, we've got a safe haven to go and have a little bit.
Exactly.
And it was much better.
I reckon that's the best way to deal with it. Start off letting the kids drink, letting the kids have parties in the house.
Then give them lines and all that.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
And dropping 50 back on the kitchen table.
You've got to give them that little bit of responsibility. Like my mum and dad were always like that. Like, they were never strict, but there were certain things that they weren't too comfortable with me doing. So they were like, well, if we can find a way to at least somewhat regulate it, and he's still able to do it, I'm not going to go behind the backs and do it and potentially put myself in like a dangerous situation, but I can do what I'm doing. Because
they've give you that little bit of fucking, oh wait, there, you can do that. You don't want to piss them off, so you don't get it anymore.
Like, but that's the thing with, like, Jimmy Shirley, he's a comedian. Like, me and Gary know him on the circuit, and that he's like, he does a bit about like
that.
Yeah, he
got big jam jar glasses.
He's got very thick glasses. He looks a bit like Danger Mouse's mate Penfold. he looks a bit like Penfold.
Yes, Penfold.
He does that. He looks like Penfold. And like he does this joke, and it's like I think it's Jimmy Shirley, and it's like, there was that weird fella who, on the estate as a kid, they'd be all, stay away from his house, blah blah blah. But like, these days with social media, like years ago when I was a kid, it was that fella down there. It's a bit weird. If you and your mates are going to be playing,
Katie Tracy's got a bit.
It's Katie Tracy who does the bit. Sorry,
the weird fella.
Yeah, it's like he's a bit weird down there. Look, if you're going to play out, just go that way. Cause he's like, he might not do anything, but he might do.
She says like, there's a weird fella on the swing. She goes, go on the slide.
Yeah, but like these days though, it's like, I don't know. I'm not a parent. I'd imagine it's much more stressful for you. But like, there's always going to be people out there who are whether they're just a little bit weird or they
Those
are a
percent of the
genuinely
population,
dangerous person. There's always that little corner of people where it goes from, it's a spectrum from being a little bit of a weirdo to a dangerous person. And back in the day, you could do a bit more to sort of protect young people from that. But nowadays, that fella who lives 20 minutes that way, who there's a rumour is a nonce, you haven't got to go near his house to get nonced up anymore. He can message you on Instagram. He can find you on all these different
people are trying
apps.
to take control of that themselves, because, like, have you seen all them paedophile hunters where people just black to be a 13-year-old and as soon as someone messages back, they go out and get him?
And listen,
you know what I mean?
I've got kids myself, and I don't like fucking nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that's heavy as well, though. Where
Bait them a
they're
little
getting
bit.
baited a little bit.
Yeah, because people do have fucking mental issues. Do you know what I mean? They're easy to fucking.
But this is what frustrates the life out of me, like, because this is where you got one of your jokes from about the indecent images.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching.
One that, you know,
I was watching like 24 Hours in Police Custody and all that, right? And like 1 week, some fella fucking robbed the post office with a claw hammer, and because it was Her Majesty the Queen's fucking post office, right, Royal Mail Service and all that, he got like fucking 12 years for armed robbery with a claw hammer. And then there was a fella who was found with like fucking 3,000 indecent images, not a decent one, 3,000 indecent images, right, on his hard drive, and he was like openly saying, yes, I fancy kids. I've never acted out of context. Don't clip that.
Someone clip it.
Out of context. I fancy kids.
Yeah. And he was saying, like, he said that of our kids, right? And then he was like,
That was heavy, that.
but then he went, I don't openly act on it. Like, I've never acted on it. I've never had this thought in my head or anything. He went, I know it's a problem. And they were like, all right, yeah, sound. So we got a suspended sentence with like fucking community service and like fucking rehabilitation into back into society and like support. And I was like, hang on a minute, how come some kid who's a bit skint, who needs a bit extra coin, rob a post office with a claw hammer, get like 12 years in jail, but some fella who's a fucking nonce, like the youngest fucking victim on those videos were like 9 months old, gets a slap on the wrist and paints the park fences. Like, what's going on?
Mad,
It's just madness, lad.
The justice system's broke, lad.
But the thing is, though, it's like there's, when someone who's in the royal family can get away with being a paedophile,
that's what I was going to say. The more lenient on it, because
the
people high up
country's
do it.
flawed. Like the justice system's fucked anyway. People get sent like there's people who get sent down for shoplifting, and it's like, I understand if you're going in and you're robbing tellies and you're robbing fucking bikes and that, Sam, but like people are going in, especially like we just had Christmas. Yeah. It's a very expensive time of year for anyone, and especially if you're skint, lad. It's a hard time of year. Like it can be a difficult time of year for people, and like people are going in and getting arrested because they're stealing food. If someone's stealing food,
they fucking need the food.
They need that. It's not like they're going in and they're robbing Xboxes and PlayStation. Lad, if someone's going in and stealing a weekly shop, lad, then fucking let them. You know what I mean?
Don't. I was horrible. I was a couple of years ago. I was in the fucking Heron Foods on Tubrug, and I was at the till paying, and I just heard someone go, "Stop him!" And I just like panicked, and like I just like stepped back, and this smackhead come flying towards me with a full tray of fucking Ed Daubert's coffee jars, lad. And like he tripped over.
He ain't even hungry, lad. He was
tripped over.
He's just knackered. He's just dead tired.
Because I like stepped back, lad. Like he tripped over me, went flying, smashed all these jars of coffee everywhere, and the security guy grabbed him and he was just going to me, "You little grass lad, you getting in?" I was like, I didn't intentionally trip it up.
I'll get you the coffee.
I'm sorry, lad. I just stepped back, say, "Get him," and I just like move like that, and I fucking floored his baguette, lad.
It's just lad. It is just mad, lad. It's like people get sent down for all sorts, like drug dealing, for example. How many kids a day do they can get arrested for selling weed, lad?
There's people in jail in America who got done for selling weed, and now weed's legal, and they're like, wait there, fucking let them out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It makes no sense.
It's just crazy, lad. It's like we live in such a fucked up time, and it got.
Have you heard the new one, the new law that they've passed now, right? Sharing your Netflix password is a form of fucking
fraud, is it?
Yeah, fraud.
Stop putting the price of the Netflix up there.
Yeah.
They're taking all the
12 quid.
They're taking all the good programs off, putting the price up, and then going, "Don't give me password."
My Netflix is $16.99.
Just get a Fire Stick. You just get a Fire Stick.
I've got to get the premium account because you can have 4 devices at once because I've got pure kids and ours.
I don't get that. They're saying don't share it to someone, but you can have it on a different device. Well, lad, I'm just giving it to their device then.
Do you know what, though, right?
It's IP address in your house.
Oh, is it IP address?
Do you know what you want to do?
The thing is, like, because if you have a normal account, so if you have the lowest one, you can only have one device playing it at that one time.
Yeah.
So I say on premium, I have 4 devices watching at the same time. I can log into it on 1,000 devices, but if like all 1,000 people try and watch them at the same time, it kicks them all off.
Okay. Oh, fair.
Like I think though, like the way everything, like you look at every it seems like every little facet like every little facet of society at the minute.
Facet? Oh, word of the day.
I feel like it's mad.
It's fucked up, and but you know what though, right? Like I think a lot of it ties in to social media, because as you said before,
social media is the biggest influence in the world at the minute,
its
by
own
far.
world, and I think that's why a lot of people are so like you get these mad like leftists.
Stop saying like now, it's all I can hear is like.
Sorry,
like.
You get
Got the wall in it.
You get these mad leftists who are so opinionated and everything, and it's because like you go back 60 years, we'd know what was going on in America to an extent, because you get like newspapers and shit like that. But now,
happy days.
I can go on Twitter and watch a video of a fucking mass shooting that happened however many tens of thousands of miles away, and then, or even like at the slightest little social issue that they're currently having in another country, and then naturally, because you see something and you naturally think about it, you then form an opinion of it, and then there's people who will start sharing their opinion of something that like it's gospel, and it's like something goes on in
social
China
media distracts you of what you should actually be asked about.
Exactly.
So you're sitting there looking at videos in China and stuff. Lads, worry about what you're doing day to day, yeah? You know what I mean?
I get that, like, I know your problem is like what happens to you, it's your problem. And I'm gonna go back to Dave Chappelle in Hot Water, right? Remember
I do.
that kid had just been shot in Liverpool, being shot up, and like everyone was like going on about it, and Dave Chappelle mentioned it, and he went, listen, he went, I don't want to sound horrible here, he went, that kid who got shot, heartbreaking, he went, and it's everywhere, you're all in fucking disarray and in shock because this girl's being shot. He went, it's one girl. He said every week in America there's like 15 kids getting flipped up in schools. He went, and it's nothing to you.
It's crazy.
Like it's I know.
I think that law in America is mad, you know, like why are they allowed guns? Like what for?
Well, the original reason that they were allowed to have guns in America was so that if ever the government becomes totalitarian, which basically means if ever the government starts
using big words, there you like
that. I'm an intelligent guy, I don't show it very often.
The mushrooms on your bed.
The lyric in the song is where you know way totalitarian. Is it Arctic Monkeys?
It might be.
Yeah,
so
sounds like an Arctic Monkeys tune.
So
I don't want you to.
It was basically so if ever the government rebels against its own people,
I bet you look good on the dance floor.
the people can then like fight back. So it was if ever the government start serving against its own people, the people have then got the capability to fight back against.
And
the
that's
government.
why they've
and
had
they can't reverse it. They can't reverse it now.
No,
I reckon it's way too far gone.
They can do. It's the Second Amendment. It's called an amendment.
Fix it.
Imagine you trying to take millions of guns out of society. There's going to be at least 20,000 that are hidden.
And I know they shouldn't have guns. I get that. But it's also the caliber of people as well, because Americans are fucking stupid. There's so many people in like there should be states that have guns banned. Because there's some states in America and you just think, how are you even putting socks on in the morning?
Like California and that.
You are
LA and that.
fucking
Know what I mean?
daft, lad.
LA's on its ass, lad.
LA's fucked, lad.
A lot of comedians who lived out in LA left LA. Like the likes of Joe, I think Joe Rogan, I think Tom Segura did too. Like they all left LA like, because it was like
wasn't it the lockdown laws which pushed a lot of people out?
And then a lot of them realised like LA is fucked. Do you know in LA there's no natural. Like, obviously, they got the sea, but you can't drink seawater. There was no natural water source for LA.
Yeah.
So they were like, if ever there's an apocalypse, let's say, they're fucked.
Yeah, they're fucked, yeah.
Like, they need, America, obviously, America's much more fucked up than the UK is, but the UK is fucked up in very different ways as well. Like in the UK at the minute, like, they try and say that there's no divide between the north and the south, but there is. There's a big divide in the north and the south. And don't get me wrong, there's things that are better about the north than there is the south, and probably vice versa as well. Like it's a lot cheaper to live in the north than it is in the south.
And then you got Birmingham in the middle.
Yeah, but then you've got
what's
places.
the black country? What's that? Where's that?
Wow,
black country.
No context.
Hold up.
No, it is.
No, it is.
Dudley. Yeah.
It is. It's like it is Birmingham.
Yeah, Dudley. Have I said something wrong again?
No, it's just like I just feel like everything at the minute, like I keep saying like a lot because I'm trying to think of words properly, but what I'm in a position now, and I'm sure there's loads of other people that were around my age. I'm 25. I'm trying to figure out how the world works. I'm trying to figure out how to function as a
man.
Yeah, as a normal man, as like a normal person. Like obviously I'm doing other stuff which is a bit like out of the norm, like with the comedy and the podcast. But I'm also trying to figure out how to build a life for myself, and the world
It's tough at the minute,
the
lad, like
world
that,
that fucked up at the minute. Like you do something and you're getting everyone shouting down. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's like all people are trying to do is like look, realistically, if you boil it down to the very, very bare bones of it, no one knows what the fuck's going on. We're on a rock that's flying through space, that's flying through infinity.
Yeah.
We don't know how it got created, why it got created, how or why we're even here. And then we've got this thing called consciousness in us that develops this ever growing question of what is it?
Yeah.
No one knows anything. So all people do, they try and attach themselves to little meaningless things that they understand and that they've got an opinion on. And then, because they don't know the meaning of anything that's actually important, like, what the fuck are we? Why are we here?
Yeah.
What
is the true
they
meaning of
become
life?
so derivative on these little insignificant things, and then it becomes such a big social issue because no one knows what the fuck's going on.
And it's like, even though that different societies have their own religion and that, like, there's not even one, like, world opinion on it.
There's not
Every
anything
little
anyone
society
agrees on.
just has their own opinion. And like, we're meant to sit here as obviously new people coming into the world, just like young kids, and think, wait there, what religion am I? You know what I mean? Like, what do I actually believe in? Like, there's no right answer. There's no right answer.
Not murder, but like I had a bit of a heated debate with my daughter the other week because I was saying like that I'm atheist. I was like, I don't believe in anything. Like I don't believe in fucking any God, any higher power or nothing. And she's like, how can you not believe? Like Jesus is real. And I was like, all right, you're in school, you get fucking.
I follow what Jordan Peterson says on that, you know. So
it.
he says, even if you don't follow God, follow the idea that there is a God. Because then you'll always answer to someone. So say if you go to make a bad decision, you'll say, no, wait there, God doesn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? And that's a good way to live life, I suppose. But lad, there's actually, but we don't know if there is an actual God, is there?
Power of opinions, innit?
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's entitled to it.
And speaking of power of opinions, I want to speak about Mr. Top G. Andrew Tate, lad.
Right.
Andrew Tate, lad. No, so lad, he's obviously just been arrested for something which we don't know if it's true or not.
Did you see the video we done his interview afterwards? So we got nicked, didn't he?
Oh yeah, walking through the fucking street, not that one.
No. So he got lifted out of his house, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because apparently Greta Thunberg fucking grassed him up because he was arguing with her.
Pizza
and
box
then
and that.
Pizza Box had like a Romanian fucking postcode on and all that.
Yeah.
So the busies come and got him, and then he done an interview on the television the day after in the morning, and they were like, "What happened?" Because he's being released, and he went, "It's a thing called swatting."
Yeah.
He said, "So someone had complained saying I was holding women against their will in my house." He said the police come, they have to fucking grab you. Because they've had a complaint. They searched the house. He went, no one was being held out against the will. He went, and if I was kicking off about busies not responding to a complaint that people were being held against the will, he said they wouldn't have faith in the justice system. He said, so they've got to do the job. Yeah. That's what it is. But apparently now he starts getting like bits seized and all that. There must be more to it.
Got his car seized. So like, apparently originally what happened is, obviously what you said then, I think some bird who went to Tate's house, a fella had rang the bird up and said like, what are you doing in Tate's house? Like, I've seen videos. And then she said to him, oh, I'm being held against my will. So then police, obviously the day after or 2 days after, I went to his house, checked the CCTV, and the bird was coming in and out and getting deliveries for him. So obviously she's not getting held against the will at all.
Do you know what though? I think a lot of this stuff with Andrew Tate at the minute, like I try to look at everything very sort of critically.
But he went quiet for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he went quiet.
He got banned off like most social platforms,
Twitter
and then
and
when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he was allowed back on. He got a platform back, this and that. But like, I think this Andrew Tate, like, I believe anyway that every now and again, especially now as I keep bringing social media up, every now and again, people call it psyops, don't they? And what that is it's where someone's intentionally placed into the middle of an already heated social dynamic with very, like,
I believe that, you know,
very extroverted opinions, and they're put there intentionally just to cause public
change the balance again.
Yeah, a bit of a stir up, so everyone stops looking at this here, what's actually going on, and it's what about that there, and it's and I think people like him, like I'm not saying he's a good guy or he's a bad guy. I don't really look that much into him. I see the odd video of him on TikTok and I scroll past it because like I'm not interested in him, to be honest with you.
I hate his voice.
And it's like, lad, you're from Luton, shut up, you're indoors.
He's like a hybrid lad. He's like an American fucking.
And like his voice goes through me, to be honest, and it's I believe there are people who are put on social media and they're told like, look, this is what you're there to do. You're there to be a distraction. Because look at Andrew Tate. Who is he, lad?
I personally think,
he's a businessman, right? He's a businessman, and if he's making millions with all these businesses, good on him. But why does he need to be a businessman with such a heavy social presence?
And that's the thing. If you are a businessman, why are you making so many social opinions that could fucking jeopardise any of your businesses? You know what I mean? If he's a proper CEO of these multiple firms and he's got his head fucking screwed on, you don't go out there making
everyone likes attention, no lad, innit?
opinions.
Know what I mean? Everyone's natural fucking.
But again,
indications.
he come out of nowhere. Like he was a no one.
I reckon he's been pushed because I reckon, I don't know if governments, whatever, obviously they've been trying to push the leftist narrative. Do you know what I mean? So obviously like everyone, so like men, obviously the gender neutral and all that stuff. And I think they're now thinking, wait, have we gone too far now? So they're trying to swing it the other way. Because let's face it, governments have controlled the algorithm. They're not going to push him if they don't want him to be pushed. Like, that's not unnaturally happened. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think the governments have wanted that to sway back the other way.
The weird algorithm, right? Isn't it mad that people lose pure hours trying to fucking fixate over the algorithms on social media, how to get it right?
You don't know it, lad.
We do it ourselves because we want our clips to pop and all that. So we're like, how's this algorithm going to work now? It's mad. Have you ever watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
Lad, seen it. Lad, it's the maddest. Like CEOs.
You seen it, Danny?
CEOs.
There's like a CEO Twitter.
Glassdoor, lad. Sorry to bring up Glassdoor again.
It talks about the power of social media and how it like brainwashes you and how they sort of set it up for your likes and your needs and all that. And like one of the CEOs at Twitter, he said like it's so addictive. He said I was coming home and I'm like locking myself in the garage and just going through Twitter. I've been in work all day knowing what we're doing to brainwash the public. He said, and then I've brainwashed myself in me fucking in me laundry room and all that.
Like even the way that they don't know the notifications. So like when it pops up on your phone and it doesn't actually tell you what the notification says, that's to get you addicted and onto the platform. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's all crazy, planned out, lad. It's all planned.
Like this is why I like what we do, because at the minute, the world, as we said before, it's such a weird place. And inside of the real world, you've got this virtual world now where everyone's opinion carries so much weight, and your opinion's validated on how many people like your tweet. So someone could tweet something that's true, that gets 5,000 likes, and then someone retweets something that isn't necessarily the case, but because it's seen more socially acceptable, it gets 50,000 likes, and then that's then right then over the one. And it's like, the reason I like what we do is because, like, obviously, we'll speak about like people who would send an occasionally we'll bring up like Andrew Tate, or like when the Queen died, we had a little podcast and spoke about it. But like we're just I want what we do to sort of just be that little corner of the internet where, like me, if you can't be arsed with all of the bullshit that's going on and you just want to turn a blind eye to it, let people chat the shit, let people argue amongst themselves, and you just want to sit and chat shit and have a laugh, that's why I'm here. Yeah, that's why we're here.
Exactly, 100%.
It's just madness.
We just chat wham.
100%.
I was going to say something then. Forgot. Okay.
It's right.
Right.
Andrew Tate, though. Just hold on the subject. Hold on the topic.
Oh, no, that's what I wanted to say.
Was it about him?
No, you're talking about like fucking...
social dilemma, TikTok,
social media,
Twitter,
brainwashed.
social media.
Yeah, so like fucking... I can't read. Like, I can't be asked reading books, so I listen to audiobooks.
You said just I can't read.
Yeah.
Just ended it that. Like.
I listen to audiobooks.
How do you spell Gary?
J.
The silent Z.
Yeah. And
G-Roy.
I've got on. I love Kevin Hart. Right.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. I think
one of the best storytellers.
He's probably he's at the minute, right. His comedy's fantastic. I think he's hilarious, but he's probably one of my biggest role models at the minute. Because I've
his work ethics,
but that's it.
Super
so I've listened to all his books, right? And his story's incredible. His work ethic is incredible. He's got a new book out at the minute. I say new, it's his latest one called Monsters and How We Tame Them, right? And it's all about these monsters in your head, like the monster of control, where like you've got to be in control of things and all that. Lad, it's fucking dead interesting, and it was gonna coincide with what you've just said then about people like being addicted and thinking like they've got to fucking follow certain things and all that. Yeah. But I lost the point, so pointless.
It's just like you see it all the time now. Like I know it's a very outdated topic, lad, but like you get people who remember when that weird phase on it was a few years ago now, and it was like people were like, I'm a male feminist. Like that is someone who doesn't even agree with the things that they're saying, but they're saying it because they know socially that's going to get them more accepted in this group and in that group.
And people just like to be liked, lad.
That's what I mean.
So they go with any narrative that's popular.
People have got this like incessant need to be accepted, and like I didn't do anything wrong, it wasn't me. And it's like rather than people just having the like, obviously I was saying like social media can be very toxic because everybody's just like, this is my opinion and my opinion's right, and then people who agree with that are like, this is how it works, this is how social media works. And I said this on a very, very early podcast that we did with Mark Hughes, so a lot of people might not have seen it. This is how social media works.
And what's happening exclusive now by Dan.
Yeah, in terms of like opinions, right? So it's like 20 years ago, it didn't exist. Yeah. This concept didn't exist. So it's like, if there was a fucking absolute lunatic who had the most absurd and ludicrous opinions ever, they'd be shouting it to themselves in the streets, and people would go, yeah, fuck them, ignore them, he's a fucking weirdo. And then 2 weeks later, you'd never see them again because they never gained the attention they were after because they only had them and where they were. But now, that lunatic makes a Twitter, right? And he starts putting all of his ludicrous and his absurd opinions on Twitter. And then now, you get the other lunatics who are from the other end of the country or from America, somewhere else in Europe, somewhere, anywhere in the world. And the next minute, all of these lunatics who would never have met each other before and who would have never have coincided with each other have now all formed a little community. And because there's 50, 100, 150,000 of them who are all fucking lunatics who have all got these same opinions, one of them posts this fucking, this absolutely absurd thing on social media, and then the 150,000 other lunatics go, I've been saying that, and then next minute it's then an opinion that carries so much weight socially because there's that many of them agreeing with it, and then you get people who just want to be a part of something then, so they'll then bend their own beliefs and their own principles to fit in with that group because they want to be accepted into the big group, into the in group at the minute, and that it's fucked up.
No, it's fucked. Like,
it's so weird.
Media's allowing things to happen that just wouldn't have ever happened in the society.
It's scary. It's scary how much people want a sense of belonging. Like they want to belong to a community, they want to belong to a group. And as
it's worrying.
Social media's allowed that to be a thing though, because people are obviously looking at other people getting 2,000 likes and they're like, well, why aren't I getting 2,000 likes? It's like, you don't need the fucking 2,000 likes.
I don't know about you, but like, I have peaks and troughs with it. Like, it brainwashes me sometimes where I'm addicted. I'm going, oh my God, look how many likes I'm getting on this photo. And I'm like, my bird will say to me, she'll be watching me and I'll be on the couch and I'll be going, refreshing. She goes, what are you refreshing for, lad? You've just been on it 2 minutes ago. And I think, So over Christmas, I started to make the conscious effort of just like dropping my phone. And like, I know it affected the pod a little bit because I was fucking weren't doing clips or not. And I was just like, I wanted to
over Christmas, I didn't pay attention to any of it, lad.
I done that in 2021, lad, for like 3 months. I didn't go on social media once, lad. And that was the best thing I could have done.
And you know what? I done it years ago, lad. I came off all social media and all I kept was one Instagram account. And I literally fucking posted a picture or two, like me fucking kid and all that, and I was off everything. And then when I decided to become a comedian, I needed social media because 95% of your gigs are on Facebook, on the forums and all that.
So made it where you need social media.
So I had to start with Facebook, but it caused a bit of fucking like trouble. But like because I become this person who didn't have any social media to then someone who had every platform, my babe was like, what are you playing at? Like, why you're on every platform? And then I was constantly on my phone and all that. And she was like, I don't like who you're becoming because I was being consumed by the phone. And then I was doing the podcast and I was doing gigs. And then I was like trying to get a platform and try and get likes. And I was just like, this is important. This is everything to me. And like, as I said, there's certain points in life where I'm on this constantly. And then like one of my kids just like tap me. And he's like, Dad, put your phone down, please. And I just go,
you realise.
Exactly, lad. It's crazy, lad. It's like, it is a mad one because like obviously like as you said, like now with the comedy, 95% of the gigs you'll book, it's over like a Facebook forum or you'll message somebody on Instagram or something like that. Or like now obviously we're just doing the podcast and that we've got to keep people who are watching updated. And I like that side of it. I like the side of it where like we've sort of built a little community. And this is what I was saying before, which is what I like about what we do on with this, is like we haven't built this what we've done, and it's not continuing to grow based on our opinions of things. It's what we've done is growing and has already grown to the amount that it has, based on
how organic we are.
It's that, but it's also like we're not coming anywhere, and we're not
coming with opinions and stuff. We're not trying to force people to. We're not coming
with like a movement or with a message. We just sit here and we have a laugh. And realistically, like I know it sounds all like very hippie of me and that, but at the end of the day, realistically, like the best way to put anybody in a good mood is to have a laugh with them.
Yeah, 100%.
If you sat there, right, and fucking ciphered through all 43 episodes that we've recorded, right, the fucking plethora of fucking topics that we've spoke about would be ridiculous and vast.
Because
we literally just have conversation, as you said. It may sound that we're opinionated on some topics and that, but it's just to spark a conversation.
Yeah, that's literally
like, it's not a belief that we fucking follow, do you know what I mean? We just have conversation and it's what it's about, lad. About talking.
It literally is like
and make people laugh at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I feel like at the minute the world can be a very great place, but it can be a very sad place very quickly. And I feel like there is a big influence of that coming in from social media. And I just want to make sure that going forward we just use what we've got to sort of just put a little bit of just having a laugh into the
joy
mix,
into
lad.
social media.
Because remember you go back to Vine back in the day, lad, and it was just funny shit. And now you go on TikTok, which is basically Vine, but it's a bit more advanced. And it's like there's funny stuff on there, but it's like lad, if you spend a day on TikTok, lad, you'll come off it by the end of the day, and it will have fucked you
Have
up.
you seen the dates that TikTok gets off you though? Because lad, I've tried to go on TikTok and like delete all contacts history and stuff, and lad, it'll still recommend people that I was mates with on Facebook like 5 years ago.
It's
I'm like, how do you know that?
It's mad. Well, apparently, I don't know how much truth in this, but apparently when you sign up for TikTok, deep into their terms and conditions, it's to the developers of TikTok. If you're sitting there scrolling through your phone like that, they can access that front camera and back camera.
Yeah. So they can go. I've seen
Weird.
they can go through your photo library and go on like the data on the photo and know where you took it, when you took it, and who took it.
Know what content
took
is
it.
coming into their platform from around it and recommend that content.
They've seen some ugly sites on my blog.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok while having a pure painful shit and all
I've
that.
got a picture on my phone where someone's managed to put a whole apple inside the foreskin. Take the data off.
Why have you got that
picture.
saved, lad?
It's just funny, lad. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
WhatsApp also saved the swear. You're on that one.
Ask Grandma. Ask Grandma apple.
It's just crazy, lad. Like, it's just for fucking... Yeah. Do you know what? I reckon we call it there. And
Yeah,
then,
that was a good
we've
one.
had to go 1 minute,
one.
an hour 4, an hour 5. Like, it's just been like we've just been sitting chatting shit and like.
That's been a good conversation. I've enjoyed
that conversation.
Going forward, like, and as well, one thing we keep saying and we keep pushing, we want to get the people who are watching this because last year it grown all of a sudden. We had a nice little group of 7,000 people on Instagram and about 20,000 on TikTok, and now it's gone. We've got fucking 70,000 on TikTok. We're nearly on 30,000 on Instagram. The Patreon's creeping up. The YouTube's nearly hitting 6,000. We're getting a good group of people, and we want to get you involved. We genuinely, I love doing this. Like coming here to the studio every week. It's one of the fucking highlights of my week every week.
100%.
And I just want to make sure the people who are watching are getting what they want out of it. So feel free. Our messages on Instagram are always open. It might go in the message request, so it'll take a few days to see it. But if you've got any mad questions you want to ask us that you want us to speak about on the podcast, or you've got any bit of content you want to see from us, drop us a message, because as I said, I want to make sure what we're doing as the world gets a bit weirder and everyone gets a bit more serious. If you're sick of it and you just want to fucking turn a blind eye and have a laugh, come to us. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
We're going to call that an episode. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of our social medias are down in the description. Go and give us a little follow. Like the video. Turn the notifications on so you can see it first. All the sponsors are in the description. Check them all out. We love you. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.